morning. Zoo here, and we are going to take the time to talk about CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, that seems good because there might be some silliness afoot. So let's get into it, shall we? So it wasn't that long ago that CD Projekt Red broke the internet with the announcement of Cyberpunk 2077. And along with that, of course, shat all over, a lot of the major developers today about how they like to implement microtransactions into everything, including certain single-player aspects that should never be monetized for things like, I don't know what, Dead Space. I'm just going to say that. Anyway, but, yeah, so they went ahead and they're not going to do microtransactions in the single-player game, which is all good and well. The company itself has made a lot of goodwill over the years, over the things that they have done in the past, that, there's not a real reason for anybody to really be sounding the alarms to it. And as a result, of course, I'm going to sit back and sort of watch this unfold, because it is an interesting thing to see happen. But Cyberpunk 2077, it is being talked about of them getting microtransactions. And before you get the pitchforks and everything, just hold on a second. It has nothing to do with the single-player component. Apparently, they have recently been talking about multiplayer, which is one thing in itself. When I play games like this, I'm not usually in it for the multiplayer. See, I would rather buy something like Halo or Call of Duty or something for the multiplayer than I would buy something like GTA or Cyberpunk or Red Dead or anything else. The multiplayer is an okay component to them, but it's not normally the thing that would drive me to want to buy it, I guess it's the best way to put it. But luckily for us, according to CD Projekt Red, they're not really that focused into the multiplayer at that particular moment. They're still focusing on the single player experience, the story and all that good stuff. However, they have decided that they will start looking into multiplayer. And I got this neat little highlighter. I'm so happy. I know I can highlight in green now, because I thought this morning, you know what? Chrome needs a highlighting extension. I bet it has one. Let me get it. I can actually highlight instead of trying to find my stuff. You're welcome. But yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 multiplayer is in its early stages of development. And that's fine. As a result, they have talked about some microtransactions and monetization along with it. And we're going to listen to a call here in a second, and of course my thing to listen in on it as well is way over here, because of course it would be. But I meant to put that on my head before we started. But yeah, how many times can I say but in succession? I have no idea. We're gonna just keep going. But when it comes to microtransactions and stuff, I think more or less nowadays they're really macro transactions more than anything. When you've got $20 for a skin or something, they're not really micro anymore, unless we're talking about something where maybe the skin is 75 cents or something. That can be a micro. But when you're paying $20, the price of almost a full-fledged game in some regards, it's no longer a microtransaction at that point. But, there is this teleconference call, which of course I went ahead and I keyed up here to the answer of the microtransaction part, which is what I wanted to play real quick, so we can all have sort of an idea of what was actually said, not just listening to so-and-so says so-and-so said so-and-so said this. So this is what actually was said.
Yeah, and as far as the monetization on the multiplayer for Cyberpunk is concerned, we believe right now it's definitely too early to share any details on that or give guidance. The project is in relatively early stage. We keep experimenting. That's our first multiplayer game, and we check different options and possibilities. And it's definitely not the time to point you to a certain specific direction on that.
Yes, but you can expect that we won't change our general policy toward um, deals with gamers. So expect wise monetization and always value for money.
But there we go. All right, so multiplayer's into the early stages. They're still experimenting, still trying to look at it. It is CD Projekt Red, so I am curious to know what they do come up with. Um, just what we've seen with this company in the past and their goodwill towards players. We've seen other companies also in the past build a huge trust with their players and then ultimately dunk on them to the point of absurdity when it comes to microtransactions, storefronts, atom shops, things like that. Broken products, broken dreams, broken promises. All that has happened in the past, so we'll have to see where CD Projekt Red actually lies when it comes down to how all this stuff, of course, uh, goes down, I guess. But CD Projekt Red answer specifically stated that there will be no change to general policy towards deals with gamers, which is good because as long as they're handling things like they've been doing, I think they'll be doing just fine. The question, of course, is to expect wise monetization and always value for money. Of course, hinting at you're not going to be getting a red dot site for $1 or two, which is hopefully true, of course. But yeah, we've seen it in other games. Wise policies. I'm not exactly sure what they mean by wise monetization, of course. Wise monetization can mean anything from everything. If it was me, first off, naturally, I wouldn't force people to pay for this multiplayer, especially unless it's going to be like, if it's going to be a full-fledged thing, maybe. It just really depends. If it's going to be sort of like other multiplayers on top of story-driven video games and stuff, it should probably be a free DLC update if it's not ready during launch. Of course, you can't make people pay for it and then pay for other things as well in it. That seems to be a little bit slippery as well, depending on, of course, what you're paying for. Nothing can be pay to play or pay to win. It's all going to have to be like, cosmetics and stuff. But at the same time, those cosmetics are still going to have the ability to get it through regular gameplay as well. So if they've got like this hat here or something, it drops, and I want it, I could pay 58 cents for it or something, or 40 cents, whatever. Anyway, name a small price. And then, but if I really, really, really wanted to, I could maybe grind a little bit for it and it will drop or whatever. No loot crates. That's definitely a given. Can't be doing that. But yeah, wise monetization, it's going to be something to look at. I think Nintendo with, what is it? Super Smash Brothers Ultimate or something is the one with the tiny microtransactions. Because Nintendo's a whole other bag of thing to go over. Not gonna lie with its mobile titles. But yeah. Anyway, wise microtransactions, we don't know what that means yet. We'll just have to wait and see. So I'm not gonna go out and crucify CD Projekt Red for this. As long as it's not into the single player, of course, they're still sticking to their promise that, in a single player game, no microtransactions. What's up with that? That sort of thing. Of course, back then when they released all this information, said they were going to, I don't think multiplayer was even thought of at the time. It wasn't a twinkle in anybody's eye yet. until somebody was like, we could have multiplayer. That'd be kind of cool. Let's start working on that. But yeah, why don't you we'll just end it right there. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will talk to you later. See ya. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.